What is a hearing aid listening check and why is it important? A hearing aid listening check is a very simple way to make sure that hearing aids are working as they're supposed to. This is particularly important if the individual who wears a hearing aid is not able to communicate when there's an issue with their hearing aids. This could be a child, an adult with other disabilities, or even older adults. If you're the caregiver for one of these individuals, then it's important that you understand how to make sure that their hearing aids are working properly and how to find a problem early before it gets worse. So in order to do a hearing aid listening check, there are just a couple of tools that you need to make sure that you have. First, you should make sure that you have the hearing aid. Along with the hearing aid, if the hearing aid uses batteries, then make sure that you have a battery tester somewhere. As well, you should also make sure that you have a brush available. This brush you should already have because you should already be cleaning these hearing aids on a daily basis. So the first thing that you're going to do is just take the hearing aid and take a look at it and make sure that there's nothing that looks out of place. No broken wires, nothing like that. And then you're just going to brush it down like you do normally. Particularly pay close attention to the microphone ports. On each hearing aid, the microphone port might be in a little bit of a different location, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask your audiologist where those are so that you can make sure that you're cleaning those appropriately. Once you've brushed off your hearing aid and made sure that's all working perfectly, go ahead and take the battery and you're just going to put it into the battery tester. In this case, the battery tester has different size batteries, but I know my battery is a size 13. I'll put it into the size 13 slot and then I'll press down. I pressed down and the little needle went to green. This tells me that my battery is a good battery. If, however, the needle stayed over on the red side, or maybe even towards the middle, then I would start to think about changing the battery. Once you know that you have a good battery, go ahead and put it into your hearing aid. And then you'll close the hearing aid and have it start up. Now as it starts, you should hear those initial beeps. If for some reason you don't hear the initial beeps and you know you can hear the initial beeps, then try changing the battery, switching to a different one, and if that doesn't work, then go ahead and contact your audiologist. Once the beeps have stopped, there's a really simple way to make sure that sound is traveling through the entirety of the hearing aid. Just place it in your hand and close it until you get a bit of a squeal. This squeal, which we call feedback, is a way of knowing that sound is traveling into the microphone and it's coming out into the little speaker that goes in the ear. So you know that sound is traveling all the way through. What you don't know is how good that sound is. So if the person who wears the hearing aids is cooperative and able to work with you, then there's one more test that you can do. And this is known as the Ling 6 sounds test. There are 6 sounds. Ah, oo, e, s, sh. And these 6 sounds represent different sounds that a person might hear through daily living, from low frequencies to high frequencies. So how do you do this test? Well, you have the individual put their hearing aids on, and then you stand at a normal conversation distance, 3 to 6 feet. Cover your mouth and say one of the sounds. And if they can, have them repeat it back to you, or have another way for them to indicate that they heard the sound. Go through all 6 sounds and switch up the order. Don't do it the same way every day. If the individual is able to respond to all 6 sounds, then they probably can hear you when you speak to them. If they're struggling with the task or with one sound in particular, if there's other issues that you notice with the hearing aid, or if you have concerns about how well the amplification is working for them, then feel free to contact your audiologist.